Hello everyone, welcome to this new tutorial in the React series where we'll dive into building a to-do list app using React. So this guide is designed for beginners and which is aiming to eliminate the path of web development with React and applying core concepts to a practical project. So in the last video that we have seen, we have learned the basics of React, what is React and why we use React, and also we tipped off with creating a simple starter project of a counter application. So which showed how React works underneath the web browser and how it brings life into the whole application. So in this session, we'll be creating a to-do list app. So now the question comes, why are we creating this to-do list app? So a to-do list app it's a classic learning project which kind of packs in essential React concepts like state management, handling user input, and also dynamic list rendering. So this would give you a basic understanding of the various concepts of how React. So yeah, let's get started with the project setup. So in the first steps, setting the React environment, uh, we'll just start it with the create React app. So we'll use npx create React app, and let's name the application as to-do list. So yeah, so now it's creating a React application and installing all the necessary packages for us. So this tool kind of provides us with a boilerplate setup, and it eliminates the initial configuration hassle. So I always prefer the npx create React app command. So I think it's all getting updated. Uh, and yeah, downloaded. Yeah. So what we can do now is let's explore the new folder, and yep, and it's the app.js. So this is where we want to work. And let's build our app score structure here. So let's start building with a basic form for a task submission and a list for displaying the tasks. So before that, I would really want to start the application and make the changes parallelly so that we're able to see what changes occur by writing a piece of code. That gives a much more it feels that we're more involved, and it gives a greater incentive uh, to the path that we're going. So let's start. Npm start. Oh, okay. So we've got an error here. So okay, you don't have to be scared, but when you see this error, okay, I made a very classic mistake here. So usually, whenever you see this error, most of the times when you start, when you execute the npm start command, you see this error. Most of the times, it was in my experience, it's just because you're not in the proper directory. So as you can see, I've tried to run this npm start command in my app directory where we do not have any of the you do not have the package JSON or the node modules or anything, and no code here. So this is basically where I'm trying to execute it. So we need to go to the appropriate folder, which is to-do list. So let's do that. Okay. And now let's start it. Wow. Now it runs. So let's try it out. Yes. Now that we can see it's running well. So this is the app.js is what's being displayed here. So what we can do now is let's delete all the unnecessary code. Yeah, cool. So we got a blank slate. So what we can do now is, like I mentioned, let's start with the app score structure, and let's build a form for task submission and a list for displaying the tasks. The form will have an input for the new tasks and a button to submit them. So let's get started. So let's introduce use state here. We'll be introducing use state here. Yeah, I think we need this. No. So let's create a form. So let's give a form and on submit. So this will uh, so this will be executed. This particular function handle submit will be executed once we submit the form. And so before we do that, let's fill out the form, the details of the form. So with input tag, let's do this. It will be of type text. Value would be task. So I'll be writing some code which I will be explaining. So please do bear with me, because all of this introduces state management and a little bit of other concepts as well. So please do bear in mind. So on change, so when the input is changed, what we're going to do is on that particular event, E will set the task. We haven't implemented it yet. We'll do that in just a moment. So before we get confused, so what I'll do here is I'll create a use state. So I do have GitHub Copilot, so that kind of helps in reducing the amount of code that the amount of code that I write. So let's make it an empty array, because we'll be taking a lot of um, um, tasks. So for that, let's set. So there'll be two types of uh, values. So which is use task, and which will be task and tasks. So task is a specific to-do task, and the tasks would be an array of the tasks that we have created, and so which should also be managed. So here we are introducing use state, for managing our tasks and the input field. So if you can see, you can just see how set tasks kind of update. So I'll be showing that to you in just a moment. So this holds the array of all the tasks, and here set task, and now create a single task, set task. So this would, so that's fine. It's just showing a simple error for now. What we can do now is have another placeholder here for the input. So placeholder would be add a new task. So this input field is where we're going to create a new task. So if we can see this here, okay, there seems to be an issue. Okay, I can close this bracket. Okay, now we'll assign a proper button to this input, and would be of type submit. This would be add task. Cool. So this is the basic form. So which has a simple input, wherein you give the task, and the button would add the task. So, but you also need to display what we are the to-do list or the tasks that we are creating. We'll create a list, and an ordered list for now. So all the tasks that we have in this array that we're creating, so we'll map through that the list of all the tasks and then list them out one by one. So for example, this tasks.map, basic JavaScript uh, uh, function. So which you can do some extra reading on that. So always when you're using the dot map functions, you always need to have an index along with uh, always need to have an index so that keeping a track, we're able to keep a track of what we are mapping through, because that index would act as a key, and that's very much important while we are using the map function. From here, I'll just use the task.id. Let's see how that works. If there is an issue here, uh, okay, use state is not defined, use state is not defined, handle submit. Cool. So it is because we haven't uh, given we haven't imported React or use state from React. That's good. Okay, handle submit is not defined. So let's define the handle submit. So this handle submit function will be executed when the form is submitted. So so if you can see, I'm writing e.prevent default here. So when you submit a form, handle submit has this default action of refreshing the page. So when I do e.prevent default, event.prevent default function, so it prevents the default reload of the page. So this kind of demonstrates kind of React's control over traditional form behavior. So it then updates the tasks array with a new task object. Just finish the task. GitHub Copilot is really beneficial. It's really useful, but I would really not recommend using it in your learning stages, because a lot of the code is pre-written and we just autofill that, and sometimes we don't understand why that is happening. So I would still encourage you to type out the code, even and not just press the tab button, because if you type it out, it becomes like a practice to write the code. So yeah, using this web operator. So let's take today's date, current date, the text of the task that we're getting, and a completed state, which would be false. Cool. And let's set the task to empty. Because so why we're doing this is, so when we click submit, the input has to get the input has to be cleared so that you can create a new task. Cool. I think we've got a basic Google app here. So let's try laundry. Cool. Dinner. Cool. It works. Nice. Um, uh, yeah. So let's study. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why we are saying set task. So if I just comment it out, and if I write movie, there you go. So movie is getting added to the list, but the input box is not getting cleared. So that's the reason we are using set task, and we are setting that state to an empty string. So that's the basic to-do list app that we have. And for styling, I mean, we can add styling for any usability. Uh, so as a functional app needs to be user-friendly, we can add some CSS to that in an app.css file that we have here. So this is all the code for that previous thing. But yeah, we can just start afresh and write some um styles for that code that we've written. And also by mapping over the task, one essential thing that I wanted to talk about was the rendering of the list. So displaying the task list, it uses the power of React's dynamic rendering. So by mapping over this array, what we're doing is we create a list item for each task. And this kind of showcases how React efficiently updates the DOM with each task added, and without refreshing the entire page. So that's one great thing of React. So yeah, this is a pretty basic application. We can expand it. There's just no sky is the limit when you think of expanding of this, trying to expand on this to-do list. So for example, you can add a task completion feature. So beside each and every task, uh, we can have a simple checkbox, which when you check it, it just strikes through the whole task. Uh, you know, yeah, there's just multiple features that you can implement. So yeah, with this. With our simple application in place, it's always crucial to test the application and mark them as complete and observe the reactivity. So debugging is a very essential skill. It kind of helps us to understand how React applications update and respond to the user interactions. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the to-do list. And we have successfully built a very simple, a basic to-do list application in React. So this tells a lot about the state management. So for state management, we are using useState to set the tasks and also to set a particular task and the component structure we have here, and the dynamic rendering of the tasks all along the way. So the what we can do from here is we can experiment with the code. We can add new features and explore React's documentation for further learning. Uh, I've already shared that with you guys, react.dev. This is a very important website that you need to visit. So if you're learning React, this is a very important website. This provides the documentation for React, and yeah. So this project is kind of like a stepping stone into the world of React development. And yeah, stay curious, keep building, and yeah, thank you.